What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Loud Spot. I'm your host, Sebastian, hanging out with a guy named Joey Arena from a band called Ovtlier. Third time on the show. I just said two. Third time on the show. Let's go.
Oh, no. Oh, boy. Ah, here it comes. The motherfucking Loud Spot.
Before we get the show started, I do want to remind everyone to please hit that subscribe button. If you're on YouTube, you can check us out on all audio podcasting platforms. I want to thank Pantheon Podcast Network. Also, my producer who's not here. And I'm not even going to thank Kyler because she's not here. And I'm not thanking her anyways for that. But I will thank you, Diego. And I will thank you, Mr. Joey Arena. You know, third time on the show. And I don't know if I've ever asked you this before. And you don't have to say it. Arena can't be your real last name, dude.
100%.
Did I ask you that before?
I don't know. I get asked like quite often, so I'm not sure who asked me, but I'm pretty used to it now.
Dude, because it's just so fitting.
Dude, I never realized I had such a stage name until I went to get a car maybe about like 15 years ago, and my buddy of like 10 years, was no fucking stranger. And he goes, hey, give me your license. I got to run it, to pull your credit. He looks at it and he goes, holy shit, your last name really is Arena? And I'm like, hey, how long have we known each other? Like, are you hi? What's up? So I'm like, yes, this is really my name. I never changed it. My family was like an arranged marriage from Italy. Like, it's authentic, Arena. Hopefully it means I was born for stardom. I highly doubt it, though. It's taking
I'm gonna change my name to Sebastian Amphitheater.
That's it. Oh my god, dude. I got a group chat with my buddies, and the whole running joke is so they called me Joey Stadiums. So that was like, so they heard the song, and my buddy Ricky like literally texted group chat today. He goes, yo, Joey Stadium's new song sounds fucking amazing. Congratulations, bro. And I'm just like, and it's so normal now. It's not even funny. It's like one of those stupid jokes, like, like
it might have been funny the first time, but then it's like you're over it. We used to say, dude, it's done. The joke is done. It's like a dad joke. Like I'm gonna tell you, my kids sometimes they don't like it because I always say, not always, but often, we're at a grocery store, we're leaving the house, and I'll say, let's make like a fart and blow this hole. But like it was funny like the first time, but I probably said like 100 times, and it's not funny anymore. But I still say it because I'm their dad. I'm allowed to. But if I say it to someone new, I get the same reaction that Joey just gave me, where they kind of laugh a little bit. But if I said it like 3 more times, you'd be like, "All right, man."
I get it. Yeah, I get it, bro. Yeah. The favorite one has got to be, "I'm hungry." And mine are young, so they don't really get it, but they're catching on now. I'm Dad. I'm hungry. Hi, I'm Dad. That's my dad used to do it to me. It pissed me off. So I catch myself doing it, and I just shake my head. I'm like, that's right. That's right. I'm going to put my New Balances on, mow the yard. You know where I'd be.
I would say dad jokes are fun, man. You got to they're good every now and then. That's a good one. Even if it's like, you're not going to not smile. Even you may not laugh, but you're just going to go, dude.
Come on, bro. You're still going to give the smile.
So since we're on the dad thing, Joe, I don't even know if you have any kids or not, but Diego and I do. And my dad used to always tell me this. I'd get something to wear. And it's not even about me. We're talking to you. We're going to get to you in a second, okay? But it's my
I want to hear about you.
All right.
I'm the producer today. I'm your producer today.
I like it.
All right. I like that.
Hell
I like that. So I'd get like a new outfit or like a piercing or like a tattoo. And, as a kid, you're always looking for that, your father's approval. And you'd be like, hey, Dad, do you like this? And you know what he would say to me? Do you like it? Because that's all that really matters. And I'd be like, I don't want you to say that, dude. I want you to say that you like it. But I do that to my kids all the time. My daughter's like, hey, Dad, you like this? Do you like it? Because if you like it, that's all that matters.
That beats the last thing my dad said to me. He told me he's going to get smokes. Gets a douche. Got another one in. There it is. Oh, man. Show's off the rails 3 minutes in.
That's it.
Let's talk about your new song, Heartless, that came out yesterday. Okay. Then we're going to talk about Octane. But first, let's talk about Heartless. That song, what is the meaning of this? Now I kind of know, I've been briefed on it, but in your own words, what does the song mean to you?
The song, it's funny because it's about my ex, but it's funny to talk about now. And I told her this, like, because after 2 years of like absolutely hating her guts, I finally let go of that anger, because I realized it was doing more harm than good to me. It was actually stunting me from getting in a new relationship. It was just like, even though I didn't want to be with her, I still was just like, I literally joined the He-Man Woman Haters Club, and I was like, you all are the devil. I just don't want anything to do with any of you. And it's like, so like I would have like these some awesome girls come in my life, and I would be like, hey, I don't want a relationship. I just got out of one. I'm like super anti that. And then you get some girls that are like, it's okay. I'm just here to whatever, have a good time, and that's it. So you're like, oh, okay. I was transparent. That's fine. And then what ends up happening is, emotions can come about as you get to know somebody. And there was girls that, I don't know if they thought they could like open my mind up to a relationship, even though I was not in a good place to do that. I really communicated it, but it's funny to talk about, like, before I dive into it, because there's so many layers to this whole thing. My ex and I are friends now, so just putting that out there. So I'm like, when I write this this press release, I gotta, this is me 2 years ago, 3 years ago now. I mean, we're cool now,
dude. Hold on. Now it's like saying. It's like you're apologizing before you say something because she's gonna hear it. And like, just so you know, but is that genuine? Is that genuine? Because it's still your feelings. Maybe it was 2 years ago. You still came out with it, right? So it's almost like saying it's not you, it's me. That's not right. But apologizing before you fuck up is what you're doing in a sense, right?
Right. Well, so it's definitely genuine, and it's not so much of like me fucking up, but it's like, hey, I know we're in a different place now, everything's cool, but I'm kind of gonna smear you without smearing you. So it's kind of like it's like somebody who's like was a friend of yours, but you're gonna knock him the fuck out, and you're like, listen, man, I'm gonna beat the shit out of you. I'm gonna do it with love, though. So how are you gonna take this punch is kind of up to you. So it's just like she's aware of it. She's honestly she's her favorite song. She like actually loves the song, and it's been a really good. It's a weird fucking dynamic. I've never been really friends with my exes, especially my one and only fucking abusive, crazy ass relationship.
That's the one you wrote the song about?
Yeah, man.
And you guys are friends, and you like crazy. Wow.
Dude, it's a weird thing, man, because I don't. In the dynamic of every relationship, right?
Choose your words wisely. She might see this.
I'm trying. So it's like, and it's funny because the interviews are starting to happen. I had one last night, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna have to kind of choreograph something good here because I might have said too much last night.
Do we need a minute for you to gather your thoughts? Do I need a minute for you to gather your thoughts?
No, I mean, I'm pretty candid. It's kind of like, this is the authentic part of me. You know how I am.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't got that filter shit. So I think, I mean, she knows because I've had open words with her. I've communicated this with her that, like, you kind of like, you fucked me up. You know what I'm saying? She was coming out of a marriage. I was like a little bit of I guess a playboy at the time. So we got into a really weird, position, and it was kind of more or less like, not gonna lie, like openly stating it was the foundation was more sexual than anything. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like we had a foundation of trust. We didn't get together on good terms and like both at good points of our lives. In fact, it could not have been the worst fucking dynamic. And like I had never been with a woman that was like married. I mean, we are the same age, but I'd never been with that. You know what I'm saying? And so she's got a lot of baggage she's bringing over, and they had their own fucking problems, and I won't even dive into that because that's like we don't got enough time for that shit either. But over time, she unfortunately was so used to one type of relationship, and she thought that that's what it is. So she brought a lot of shit into the relationship with me, and I never experienced it with her. And I'm talking like, I never had a girl put their hands on me. I'll just put it that way. You know what I'm saying? You hear about it randomly, but of course, because we're guys, like, oh, that's not a thing, So it's like, it got weird. It really got weird for me. I've never experienced something like that before. It was verbally just fucking, dude, I'm not gonna lie, bro. It got like almost emasculating, you know what I'm saying, to a lot. Like it almost tears you down, and you start questioning yourself, and it becomes such a vicious cycle because you're like subjected to it all the time. And I let it like almost beat me down. And then the worst thing in my entire life happened during this relationship. And as like year 2, I'm kind of like the first year was like whatever. It was chaos, but it was fine. You got enough energy in it. Year 2, it was like beating, 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 beating. And then my grandmother, who pretty much raised me, died. So I never in my entire life had ever experienced depression in my entire life. I can simply say that, you have moments of sadness or whatever. I never had depression. Dude, that loss was so significant. It fucked me up. I could not get out of bed for a long time. Like the highlight of my day was getting up to take a shower just to get back in bed. You know what I'm saying? And then I tried to force myself to go to the gym because I love the gym. And there was no amount of caffeine in the world that can get me in that gym. So I would drive there, sit in the parking lot, turn up the most fucking obnoxious death metal I could find, and whatever that could get my adrenaline pumping, and there was nothing. So I would just drive back home, get back in bed, and it just became these baby steps of whatever. But you kind of, that point, I remained in the relationship for a few years, and it was not out of wanting to be in the relationship, but it was because my entire world had been like taken from me, and I felt almost like I don't know, man. The only way I could explain it is I felt like the earth had been removed from under my feet, and I was just floating in space for like 2 years, like additional in this relationship, but I was numb. And when something so significant is removed from you, you're almost bulletproof at that point. It's like
you don't care. You don't care anymore.
You don't care, dude. Yeah. Whatever somebody says to you, it doesn't matter. You can fucking hit me. You can fucking mouth off and say the most fucked up things in the world to me. It doesn't matter anymore. You know what I'm saying? And then so she's going out, you know what I'm saying? And like doing God knows what till all hours of the night. Like I didn't care, bro. Like in my brain, you could have fucking foursomes. You could go to a brothel. I didn't feel anything. I was numb. And what happened was eventually there was a tipping point where, it got like a heated argument that it was like, her saying she was done with me and all this. And that was always the thing. It was always like she was done, but then she calls me 20 minutes later, please don't go, come back. And
that's fucking mind games, dude.
Dude,
that is fucking mind games. Go ahead.
No, man, you're absolutely right, dude. It was I'm telling you, dude, it was just chaos, manipulation, narcissism. But it was so fucked, and it was so normal for her. And when she said it the last time, I said, all right, I'm holding you to it. I'm going to make you eat your words. I'm fucking done. And that was it, man. I took a trip with my boy to LA, and then I came back and we slept in different rooms until our lease was up. And then we both signed new leases and got the fuck out. And that's what happened. And for 2 years, dude, I hated her. But what was insane is that she got back with her husband a couple months later, and I'm hearing it from everybody. And meanwhile,
she probably at least would definitely leave you alone after this if she was bothering you,
dude. I literally said it to because it was mutual friends, because in Rochester, it's a smaller city. I mean, some of us and her and I kind of ran in similar circles, and so the people that are telling me were sources that were friends with both of them, and she's denying it to me, and I'm like, dude, I don't give a fuck. I always said I lost my self-worth. I said I'm just temporary. I'm helping you get through your fucking marriage, and I was so fucking aware of it, but that that was like what I attracted that bullshit because I didn't think much of myself at that point in my life. You know what I'm saying? So I allowed it to happen. My therapist, well, my grief counselor, because I'm in grief counseling because I fucking absolutely need it. And she said to me, it was like, you were walking into a pit of fire knowing you were going to get burned. But that's why you did it, though, because you knew the outcome. So here's the dark, twisted shit of it all. Other relationships, because of my upbringing, and like I said, it's such a deep fucking thing, man. It could be hours of discussing, like, how much.
No, we're gonna be on here longer than 30 minutes. I already can tell. So continue with your story, please. No, this is interesting. Yeah, I'm all in, dude. Like chapter 2, let's go.
All right, sorry. I was gonna say sorry if I'm like boring you guys.
No, I'm not bored at all.
This is like the first time I've actually really honestly talked about this, especially publicly. Like when I talked about it last night, it was nowhere near the depth of this. So, yeah. So you kind of her shitty marriage leaked a bunch of shit in our relationship. Then I walked away from our relationship thinking that was fucking normal, even though I knew it was wrong. It became so normalized that I didn't want to be with anybody because I knew I was like this. I became like, so in the bridge, it's that fuck before that breakdown hits, I said, I become the monster. And that one line, you know, and then the bridge lyrics are so like all the lyrics, the song is the most personal work yet. It was the best way to explain how hollow I felt, how, like, you know, like this animal that was like, don't fucking touch me. Don't come near me because I don't know what I'm capable of at this point right now. And like, so it was like, you know, like I said in my, I'm sure Shauna sent it to you, but it was like, you know, they say hurt people hurt people. She brought her shit in, then it falls on me, then I take it, and then I hurt somebody else just because I didn't want to be in a relationship.
Yeah,
and I was so cold and cut off, you know, removed from that. And then, you know, God only knows what happened with them after, but like, it almost becomes this, like this virus, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, I don't know, man. It was fucked up.
Manipulation. So I think a lot of guys can relate to stuff like this. I was in a relationship before where it was, to me, it felt, looking back on it now, and it took a while for me to see that, it was manipulation, and you get used to that manipulation, and it's almost comfortable to go back to because you're used to it, but it's almost safe because you know what it's like women that get abused, they get beat by their husbands, right? Why do you go back to him? Because they know what's going to happen. Right. It's almost like they get used to it to where it becomes home. It's sad to say, but I had to go to counseling, and my counselor told me, you know, you got to cut that off. I was at the point though, when we first broke up, dude, like my dick didn't work for like a couple months. And then I would see her and I'm not even attracted to her. And it was like, all of a sudden there's a fucking boner. And I'm like, why does my dick work if I don't even like you right now?
Right,
you know
right,
what I'm
right.
saying?
Yeah, you become robotic, and comfortability is probably the biggest thing too. It's just like you say, you know how today's going to end. It's comfortability. It allows you to go, you know, if you're working a 12-hour shift, you know, you're going to get bitched at anyway. So you're going to maybe work 13 hours today, but you're going to be back home. Like, yes, it's a vicious. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
When your dick doesn't work, you know, that's emotion. What they say in the Asian, emotional damage or whatever the hell they say.
Emotional damage, bro.
Dude,
yeah.
That is a fucking thing. And I got such a fucking bone to pick with society because of the way they fucking want to scrutinize men because they instill it in women's brains. I mean, dude, you guys remember health class? Men think about sex every 4 seconds. So everybody thinks we're just these walking hard-ons that have no emotions because that's what society tells them. And then, you know, it's like, oh, you know, we got to rub some dirt on it. Be men. I don't talk about my emotions. I am now open to doing this because of 2 years of therapy. But which is why I'm using it in my best work now because honestly, that's my journal. My music's my journal now. Before this, I like would teeter it a little bit, like, but I would never tell the truth though. In like the press releases, I would be like, oh, this is about toxic relationships. I didn't experience it, but this is about those things.
Right.
And like, this is what I've heard. This is what I heard about, you know, but now it's like, no, these are the things I experienced.
You're growing as a musician.
Yeah.
And because you're growing, you become more comfortable talking about things because people like real. People like when somebody else is real and they're explaining their true feelings. My question is, you currently do have a girlfriend, correct?
Yes, I do. Yep.
Okay. So is she upset that you're talking about this?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
Because sometimes, because that she's good for you then, right?
Sure.
She lets you express what you want to express. And most people probably wouldn't ask that question because a lot of times women would be like, why don't you write a song about me? What about the love you have for me?
She does say that though. She does say that too.
but that's common. And I'll say this, and I'm sure you probably said this. Maybe if you haven't, if not, I'll defend it, and I'll say it's easier to write about something that hurts you than to write about something that you care about.
100%, man.
So that would be the reason why Heartless played on Octane currently.
So it was played the first day, like 4 or 5 times. I don't know. Since then, I've not gotten like an update. We get like, so what I'll do is I'll get like a weekly update, like a 7-day media based update. The only thing that I get in between all of that is like what station adds it. You know what I'm saying? So right now, like I just got New Jersey, 105.5. I can't remember. So one of the stations in Jersey already picked it up, which is dope. So usually radio has a very delayed response as well. So I won't know territories. Like it'll take like 2 weeks before they kind of start trickling in a little bit. And that becomes like, oh, this is what we're being played and what's happening. But so as far as Octane goes, I don't know. I'm going to have to get like a 7-day update and I'll let you know.
The first time you were on the show, I forgot what song you were promoting, loved it. And it wasn't much long after that, I wound up hearing it on Octane. And of course I was like, this girl was on my podcast. Check it out. Like trying to look cool. I was trying to look cool. And, well, no, it was neat. Now this song Heartless is a little bit of a softer song. And I want to play it. We're going to take a quick sponsored break. I'm going to play the song and then I'm going to ask you a question and I want to see how you answer it. So stay tuned. We're going to take a sponsored break. Come right back right after that with the song Heartless from Outlier.
Left a black hole inside of my chest. Now I'm heartless. Flesh and bone, you split me open, made yourself a home. I'm living with your ghost. Got some dead skin that you're living in, rent free in my bed. Got addicted to the sickness, locked up in my head, like a parasite under my skin. I've been ripping myself to shreds. Is it better if I paint the world in red? Left a black hole inside of my chest. Your switchblade, it cut me open. I can't feel a thing. Shot up with Novocaine. Got some dead skin that you're living in, rent free in my bed. Got addicted to the sickness, locked up in my head, like a parasite under my skin. I've been ripping myself to shreds. Is it better if I paint the world in red? Left a black hole inside of my chest. Now I'm heartless. Parasite under my skin. I've been ripping myself to shreds. Is it better if I paint the world in red? Left a black hole inside of my chest. Now I'm heartless. I become the monster. ripping myself to shreds. Is it better if I paint the world in red? Left a black hole inside of my chest, like a parasite under my skin. I've been ripping myself to shreds. Is it better if I paint the world in red? Left a black hole inside of my chest. Now I'm hungry. Parasite under my skin. I've been ripping myself to shreds. I'm hungry. Left a black hole inside of my chest. Heartless.
There we go with Heartless, man. Let's switch positions here. Diego, his phone is not connecting, so he did have to leave the show. I call him in the middle of a break, and his phone will not reconnect, so he is gone for the remainder of the show. But we don't have a whole lot of time left, anyways. With you, Joey, man. I'm gonna go back a second before we get you out of here. What was the pivot point, if there was a pivot point in your life with your music career, where you decided to write more heartfelt songs and care less about the bullshit or care less about what other people thought? What made you want to come out there emotionally with your music and talk about it publicly? Because you didn't do that before, but you're doing it now.
I did it very mildly on the EP, right? So What Doesn't Kill You, which is just like you kind of decide the outcome through hard times, how you're going to be. Are you going to let these things destroy you? Are they going to make you jaded? Are you going to come out better? Whatever. So the first EP was about overcoming. All the singles that came out later, like after, were all more intense. There was a lot more emotion. I had some like anger that I wanted to like unload. Like I said, I was getting out of, like, I was in that relationship. I was getting out of the relationship, but there was also shit on top of it. So, I think really what opened the door was therapy. And the reason being is because my therapist brought up a good thing. She goes, you're an artist. And, she goes, do you keep a journal? And I go, no, I don't really do that. I just, I'm like, why, what are you getting at? She goes, well, you write songs, you write music, you write lyrics. And I go, yeah. She goes, well, poets, they write their thoughts down and they become poems, So,
right.
She goes, and then you could feel the sadness in some of the saddest poems. You could feel the joy, the hope, whatever they're trying to put down, you can read it in their words. And that's what people share. People relate to those things. She goes, you have a good chance, like a good, you just have a good outlet. And she's like, you can write all of your emotions down, and then you can also share them with the world. And what you're doing now is you're releasing them. She goes, you're no longer carrying them. All these words, these things that harbor and like they just fester in your brain. She goes, put them down and almost like send them out to sea. Let them just be done now. You no longer are carrying the weight of it all, because it becomes, like I said, it becomes a heavy weight, And so I was like, you know what, that actually makes sense. I'm going to do that. And she goes, you are authentic, and I think you need to pride yourself on authenticity, especially in a world like today where everything's it's just fake. Our world is like
everything, dude. At TikTok, from social medias, people are so fake.
Fucking fake, dude.
You can't even look at a picture of someone and assume. You can look at a video podcast like this. On the audio, you can't tell, but on the video, you can see what someone looks like. But there's times people come on, I'm like, that is not what you look like on your social medias. I was watching South Park the other night. It's all about your brand. Even if you're just a person not even trying to be famous, you got a brand, and you're fake on platforms to build yourself up as this person. You're not even that person.
Right.
Why? What's the point of that? Just be fucking real. Because when you meet someone, they're gonna find out it's fake anyways.
Yeah.
That's stupid.
And to me, see, like, that doesn't work for me, because it's like you're playing somebody you're not. So, like, what does that say about you at the end of the day? How you probably don't even really like yourself. Like, you clearly have to be and portray somebody else. It's like, that's got to get tiring almost, to try to be somebody else. And I don't know, man. I'm unapologetically myself, and it gets me loved and hated. But you know what? Those that love me, they're amazing. They're diehards, you know?
Yeah,
So it's
man.
like, and I rather have like quality over quantity all day, bro.
All
Everything.
day.
With my people, with my friends, with my relationships, with my music. I could shit out more music. People are like, dude, why don't you put out music faster? It's like everything's a piece of art, bro. I gotta put as much of myself into everything. If I go just like shitting out art, you know, then you got filler content. And I try to like have everything be, you know, as close to some sort of a hit as possible for this band.
Yeah, you know, have a podcast. Sometimes I do shows. I'm like, fuck, that sucked, but I'm putting it out there anyways. But as a musician,
Right.
you can do that. You have the time to sit there and structure. You have the time to really consider what's released and what's not released.
I got 2 producers that I've been working with the past month, that I've lined up the arsenal, you know what I'm saying? And like these songs, I personally believe I'm proud of them. You know, they're my best work yet. And, I can't wait to get them to the world. I promise myself that this is going to be the year of consistency. So we will be dropping a lot more music for sure. And, but everything still has to be well thought out and not just thrown to the wall. And you know what I'm saying? Not just like see what sticks type of mentality. So like, everything's going to be well thought out. All these songs, you know, they have a special place. Heartless is very, very. I've been most excited to release this one for a long time because the motion behind the song, like you said, it feels a little bit slower and stuff like that. But the intention behind it is literally what every day was blending into the next. It was like this droney feeling. So like everything it's just down and dark. And I wanted to kind of put that in the music, you know what I'm saying? Like it's got to reflect. I mean, I could have made it fast and made it like chaos, but at the same time, I felt more sadness and hollowness than I did of chaos.
I don't think the message would have been as well perceived if it was faster.
Sure, absolutely.
Honestly, because when it's a faster song, usually it's a happier song, or you feel the sadness.
Yep.
Of what your emotions are and what you're saying when the song's slower. If you speed that up, it takes away from the reality of what you went through.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely.
So, no. I promise I was not saying. I was just used to the outlet's kind of a little faster paced.
Sure. Yeah.
But I love me some slow country sometimes. Even I'm like, why do I like this song? Because sometimes I feel what they're saying. I feel the lyrics. You know.
Yeah.
Jelly Roll started doing some slow shit about. You know, when I pray to God, and I'm like, fuck, dude. I'm like, you know, like you start feeling that stuff.
Yep.
I'm gonna get you out of here in just a little bit. I do want to say that it sucks we could not go, which did not happen. The When We Were Hungry tour.
Not
when we were young, when we were hungry. That was gonna be fun. I want to hang out with you. I think your girlfriend was gonna come with you. We all want to have some beers and hang out. I was gonna buy you a couple shots. But, you know, that never wound up going down. Last minute, we got the notice. So it was going to be in Vegas. But that would have been a great time. And that was right after you were on the second time on the show.
Right.
We did that. I do hope that one day you do come to Oklahoma and come or Wichita, Kansas, because I work in Wichita, Kansas, live in Oklahoma City. Weird dynamic there. So Kansas, Oklahoma, I could probably try to make it out to one of those shows. Are you guys planning on any tours anytime soon? And shout out to your merch.
Yeah. So we're going out in July. It's close to being finalized here. We went through some transition business wise through the band. We went from one booking agency to another. So our new agent is awesome. She's working so hard around the clock. She's like submitting us for a lot of stuff, but also at the same time booking a tour in July. And we got other sections. So we're trying to go out from now until the end of the year, right? Like July into the end of the year. But yeah, so I can't announce any dates right now at the moment here, but to answer your question, yes, we are going out. We do have tours.
And now shout out your merchandise. Not a shout out to your merchandise, although shout out to your merchandise also. But go ahead and tell your website or where people can find your merch besides seeing you guys live and playing a show.
Hell yeah. So Outlier .band merch and more. It is printed right out of Chicago area. It is fresh off the press, print on demand. crack resistant ink, and you have a 30-day money back guarantee. So free shipping within the States. Yeah, get yourself something fresh. I made sure that there was I used to have like a small clothing company back in the day. So I try to make our merchandise. I make most of our merch. I taught myself a little bit of graphic design work. I'm not good at it by any means, but it's enough to get by. But we've been doing well. But I create things that I think people would want to wear, regardless if the band name's on it or not. You know what I'm saying? I try to have it sell itself almost, versus Outlier. I got to buy it because it says Outlier. I want people to go, yo, that shirt's sick. I don't care who Outlier is. I just want to wear it. So,
cool. And you are always a blast to have on the show, man. Such a fun dude. Good stories. I mean, you come real with it. So thank you for that. If you've never heard of Outlier, make sure you check him out. If you're listening on audio and you've never heard him on my show before, know who they are. It's Ovtlier. Change that U to a V for Outlier. And that's all the time we got. Joey, please stay right there till after the end of the outro. I want to thank all of our listeners that listen to us. I want to thank my producer, Sam, who was not able to make it here today, but always makes the show better. Diego, who left the show. Kyler, I'm still not thanking you, but I still love you, girl. And I also want to thank Pantheon Podcast Network and our sponsors. That's all the time we got. Joey, stay right there. Peace out, rock on, and much love.
This is the Loud Spot outro by Nothing Short of Tragic. Is this all talk with no action? No. Is this my thoughts with distraction? No. Is this what I bought that's in fashion? Or is this the Loud Spot with Sebastian? Yes. Does Nothing Short of Tragic have us back again? Yes. Does everything that's good really have to end? Yes. Our pimp host has to pimp show, so to get more episodes, make an order, this is over.